Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. Welcome to the Crypto Conversation. It's time for the weekly market sentiment report. And what do you know? It is just a few days out from Christmas. What's happening in the markets? What's happening on crypto Twitter? Time to take a look. As always, you can, of course, listen to this as a normal podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But you can also watch this on the Brave New Coin YouTube channel because I'm going to run through a few different visual references just to check in on what is going on. So we'll start off here at Brave New Coin. And where is Bitcoin? Yeah, not doing too much, around 48,600 on the BLX, the Bitcoin Liquid Index. The ELX, the Ethereum Liquid Index, has Ethereum just a little bit under $4,000. And I guess if we kind of look at the wider market on coin market cap, you can see, yeah, we're having a pretty good little bit of a jump in the last 24 hours, which is always nice to see. Has been a little bit doom and gloomy in the markets this month. Not really the bullish December that everyone was expecting earlier in the year, but that's okay. That's okay. So if we just look at Bitcoin again, this is the story really. Yeah, we did have that new all-time high sort of back in the start of November, but since then it has really been all downhill, and now perhaps just starting to consolidate here, kind of no man's land, really waiting to pick a direction. But I suppose if you zoom out and think on a long-term basis, which is always the best thing to do, I think, with Bitcoin, you know, we're going to close the year. Bitcoin is going to be hopefully around about 50k USD. So, you know, that's not bad. And I guess if we're putting that in context, you can see on the 200 a week a moving average heat map, yeah, Bitcoin very much in this kind of blue cool zone. So certainly not up the top. I've never got into the red this year or even this cycle. So yeah, just kind of cruising at the moment. And also on the Puel, I think that's how you say it, the Puel multiple, you can see, you know, again, same story really. We're just kind of in the middle, no man's land, down in the green. Well, that's a good buy opportunity, even though it might seem bearish at the time. And up the top here in the red is probably a strong sell signal. Right now, again, it's just no man's land. And same thing on the logarithmic growth curve. Again, just a little bit under halfway, but just kind of cruising. Again, you can see never got to the top. Stock to flow. Yeah, stock to flow. So, yeah, the very controversial stock to flow model by Plan B. I mean, it's a little bit hard to tell from here, but I think, you know, from Plan B himself, I think you'd want to see an average of 100k, pretty close to now. And obviously, we are not close. We are not close. And yeah, some people are pointing that out on crypto Twitter at the moment. So for reference, this is Plan B. He said this back in June. He said that I will call stock to flow invalidated if we have not reached 100k by December this year. So, you know, do we take Plan B at his word? Here we are. We're in December. Bitcoin is not even 50k. So does that mean stock to flow is invalidated? Well, funnily enough, Plan B, just a couple of days ago, he tweeted this. He said, Bitcoin needs a small miracle for a 100k Christmas. Will I ditch the stock to flow model if this does not happen? No, I actually like being at the lower bands, says Plan B. So I don't know. You got to kind of judge for yourself. Has he gone back on his word? He said earlier this year that stock to flow would be invalidated if Bitcoin did not make 100K, and now he's saying no, it's fine. He doesn't mind being in the lower bracket. So yeah, I guess that's fine. Take from that what you will. Also, this is from Josh's video analysis of Bitcoin that he published yesterday, I think. So just looking at the pitchfork, you can see here underneath the mean there's room for the downside, I think. Also underneath the cloud, and I think, but you know, if there is any hope, Josh was looking at this chart pattern here and pointing out could be a short-term long up to 55K. So and look, you know, since then we have seen a little bounce on Bitcoin. So yeah, is there hope for a little bit of a Santa rally in the lead up to Christmas as we close out the year? There's always hope, right? Yeah, but if you want to watch that video for Josh's full analysis. All right, what else is happening? Yeah, so Jack Dorsey, you know, founder of Twitter, he said this yesterday, which was quite controversial. He said, "You don't own Web3. VCs own Web3." And Jack says it will never escape their incentives. It's ultimately a centralized entity with a different label. So yeah, I mean, obviously Jack is you know, a Bitcoiner, and as expected, Jack is getting some pushback from obviously the Web3 community and some Bitcoiners as well. You know, Balaji points out here that Twitter started as a protocol, the free speech wing of the free speech party. I think that's how Twitter described itself in the early days. Then corporate and political incentives led to deplatforming and censorship. And Balaji is making the argument that Web3 offers the possibility, at least, of something better. So, I mean, you got to try, right? I guess is what Balaji is saying here. What else? Yeah, so you know, other people pointed out that there's been plenty of headlines in the likes of the Wall Street Journal about how Jack Dorsey is, you know, actually trying to build Web3, but Jack was not having it. He says, "I have nothing to do with Web3. Wall Street Journal and others simply need names and photos to generate clicks." And others pointed out that, you know, Jack himself has taken VC money in the past, and so he simply says, well, yes, I have, and that's why I know exactly what I'm talking about. Not to be outdone, of course, Elon Musk had to be involved. Has anyone seen Web3, said Elon. I can't find it. Somewhere between A and Z, says Jack. So, yeah. Just crazy to see Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey. Yeah, not impressed with Web3. So Chris Dixon says, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and that's where we are. And then, of course, then you win. But again, Jack could not help himself. He's like, come on, Chris, you're a fund determined to be a media empire that can't be ignored. You're not Gandhi. And Balaji can't help himself either. He points out, well, actually, Jack, Gandhi was for Indian independence, and Web3 also promises us Indian independence from Twitter. Yeah. All right. I think we don't need to go any further down that particular rabbit hole. I suppose one of the meta points, if you like, about all this Web3 discussion is, as this New York Times article points out, you know, there's a wave of talent leaving the likes of Google, Meta, Facebook, Amazon, and other large companies for what they see as a once-in-a-generation opportunity with crypto. So I think this is that article. Yeah, it's just on the New York Times. Basically, just says, yeah, there's a huge opportunity in crypto, and that is where the talent is going. All right, what else is going on in Web3? Well, Amazon. Amazon put out, sorry, not Amazon, Adidas Originals. They released their first NFT last weekend. This is the NFT. It looks like this is kind of a partnership with Bored Ape Yacht Club and a few of the team there. So they sold this NFT, and I think the idea is the NFT will give you access to some original pieces of Adidas Originals clothing, maybe some shoes, and also access to Adidas Web3 or metaverse events that they'll be working on next year. I mean, it's pretty cool. I think they did 30,000. I actually tried to get one myself, but could not because the demand was so high and the gas war was a thing. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was a little bit, I wouldn't say it was a bad experience minting. It was a little bit though, I guess that's just because of the sheer demand for them. So Adidas have, they published a thread here just kind of going over some of the issues and explaining how it wasn't perfect, but that's Web3. It is early. I thought this was funny though. So this is just a chat that someone had with Adidas support. So Adidas support says, thank you for contacting Adidas support. I understand you are contacting us about the NFT. I suggest you contact NFT support so they can check and fix whatever issue you're having on your wallet. And so the user says, should I call Ethereum? And the Adidas support person says, yes, please call Ethereum since we do not have access to your NFT account. So, man, just shows that I guess that's how early we are. And yeah, if you're a big brand trying to enter Web3, yeah, you got to give your support team the necessary tools to deal with the issues. Manib put out this thread just an hour ago, really presumably in response to Jack Dorsey. He's just talking about, yes, the people, Web3, that it is for the people. VCs will have reduced power and ownership in crypto protocols. And look, I'm not going to go through the whole thread, but yeah, I think he makes a good point and a good argument, and then goes on to talk about what Manib is building with the Stacks ecosystem on top of Bitcoin. So in summary, Web3 reduces the power and ownership of VCs. Venture capital still has a role. You got to bootstrap risky ideas somehow, but I think, end of the day, Web3 is a net win for internet users. More power to the people. Hard to argue with that. Okay, what have we've seen that. What else as we start to finish off? Yeah, Bitwise. Remember Bitwise, they had one of the first, I guess, crypto index ETF style products. And now they're doing something similar with the Bitwise Blue Chip NFT Index, world's first NFT Index Fund. So that's pretty cool. They've got some of the most valuable NFT blue chips, CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, Fidenza, etc. So yeah, if you want to just get access to an index holding the big blue chips, I don't know, they've sort of already reached maybe the upper cycle of their peak for now, but presumably they will have another run again next year as NFTs continue to reach or slowly move towards mass adoption. Finally, interesting thread from Josh Wolf here talking about explorers and exploiters. just uses towards the end of the thread, he talks about how the mix in crypto of it's kind of a mix between computer coders, as in hackers, and mind hackers, as in tweakers, leading to some extreme innovation. So he says basically the convergence of hardcore psychedelic psychonauts and hardcore computer scientists, both of whom are questioning everything, such as the systems of finance, money exchange, community, communication, institutions, power, and protocols, is one of the most culturally fascinating combos in many generations. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. All right, well, I think we'll finish off there. So I think this is probably the last crypto conversation for this year. So if you have listened to the podcast this year, thank you very much for supporting the show and for listening. Always appreciate it. I'm going to publish some of the best episodes from this year just over the Christmas and New Year break, so there'll still be content coming out. And it's been fun actually to revisit some of those. Had some really good shows with some really interesting guests this year, so do look out for that. We've got who have I got? Got Sergey from Chainlink, Jeff from Axie Infinity, the Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci, some big names. So gonna republish them if you need some content to listen to over the holiday break. But that's it for now. Thanks everyone. Do have yourselves a Merry Christmas. All the best for hope you get an extended some family time, all that good stuff, and we'll see you again in 2022. All right, thanks for listening, team. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave, a New Kind. See you.